Hey everybody, it's Eric from the MMG. Welcome to our channel. I have been in love with Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale. It is just a ton of fun. Takes me back to my Sid Meier's pirate days way back when in the early 90s. It is a little different. If you missed my review video, go back and look at it where I kind of cover what the game is about and what it's like. Today though, we're talking tips and tricks, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet just for you. There's a lot to this game. The tutorial, well, it covers a lot of the basics, but it doesn't cover some of the more finer details. So we're going to cover that. I'm just going to keep it short, maybe 3 or 4 quick tips that should really help improve your Tortuga experience. Let's get to it. Alright, tip number 1. The first thing I didn't fully understand is when you have cargo in your hold here, like I have here, you'll see the ones that have the little pirate face here. Your crew can consume that good and it makes them happier. You have to put a check mark by it here, like I have done with these items, and you'll see down here, there's lots that I can have. And then what you do once you check that, I don't have any grog on board, so they're not happy. I don't have any salted meat on board. No fruit, none of this stuff. So right now, the change for the better per day is only at 20. Now, if I had more items here, this would actually go up. And also, the last day since you divided up booty is a big factor, too, in their happiness. And so my crew's happiness is actually going down negative 33 per turn. So what you do, though, like when you check this, and then if we recheck it, say we check that and that, you can see it's going up, but we don't have any, and then I hit it, and it'll say permit or deny. So if I want to permit them to do it, now you see it's up even higher because I permitted them. So that's how you can kind of make your crew happier, make sure you have the supplies on board, and you just go to a market, like right here, whoops, and then you just buy some. Now, you know, right now I'm not in great standing with this colony, but it'll show you down here for 2 days. 10 will get you there, that'll get you there for 4 days, 18 of them. So make sure you keep, that's a good way to keep your crew happy, so make sure you have some on board if it's something they like. Okay, so the next tip is the governor. Now, there's the main countries in the world. You know, you have France, you have the Dutch or the Netherlands, you have Spain, and you have England. And so you can go to their different towns and you can talk to the governor, you can do missions for him. And the higher your rank, right now I'm negative 5, I'm an outcast here. They do not like me here because I've attacked them. So I only have this mission I can do. But if I want to, raise my rank with them, I select this mission and then I do the mission and it'll help raise my rank, get me out of the dirt. But the good thing about this, the higher the rank you are, the better the options of the harbor master. So right now, Pirate 1 Dealer is locked because my rank is negative 4. Some of the Harbor Masters will have rank 2 stuff, and so you have to rank up to get that higher levels things to upgrade your ship. So make sure you do that with at least one nation, in my opinion, maybe a couple, and keep your rank up high so you can go get your ships well equipped. And the other thing I want to mention while we're on the topic of the ships is when you're looking at these here, and you want to do something with a ship, for instance, this one right here, you have to pay attention to your weight capacity. If you're over that, you can't add anything else. You're going to have to take something off. And the game is not great about showing you how much each item weighs, so you do have to be careful. Defensive stuff tends to weigh quite a bit. And so I've had ships that I've captured, and they were actually naturally overweight. And so when I came in here to modify them, I couldn't do anything because they were already overweight. And once you start selling stuff off of it to get it underweight, you can never take it back over the weight limit. So just as a heads up there, be cautious of what you do. All right, and the next step I want to mention is something very important that you don't realize at first. So you need to divide the booty with the crew. And it's not like other games where it really is a setback for you. You actually keep your crew members. So all you need to do is go back into a tavern in a city and divide booty. And I'm going to show you how to do this because this is a little bit confusing at first. So divide the booty, click on this, and then you're going to see there's your captains, what they think of you. Here's the missions I've completed. I've got 2 completed since I went out with this crew. I haven't hired enough seamen, and we'll get these 2 actually when we divide the loot here. So what you do is you take this little slider and you slide it over. And the more thumbs up, the better. There, now we've hit both those. We're not going to hit the seamen. So we're not going to get that 15%. You want this to be at least 51. And the reason for that is, if you get 51, you get, you don't have to have as many goals here for your new crew. So we're going to go ahead and do it. We're at 52. Going to ask yes, yes. And the other main reason to do this is right here. This is when you actually gain all your experience. Before that, it just kind of sets in a pool. You don't actually level up until you actually divide the booty. And that's for all your captains. So this is when you can level up. Now, I think it's far more important early on when you have low-level captains to do this, because you want to get them leveled up, and you want to get those skills because they're pretty strong. And so when you do that, it's really important. You can see there's them going up. And the other thing to mention is you have skill points. So, like for the other captains, like for yourself, you get a pick. So I have 2 new skills I got to pick from the list here. So I can go through and pick those. But I also have 5 skill points, and you actually level these up. So, like, put 1 there and 1 there to max that out. If I wanted to max out powder monkeys, there we go. And 1 more for ship resistance. Now I'm maxed out. So I'm going to hit continue. Actually, I'm going to look at these guys and make sure I upgrade them first, too. Because you can only actually do this when you divide booty. So you can't come in and do skill points and stuff unless you've divided booty. So make sure you spend all the points that you want to get everything where exactly you want it. Alright, so once you have all your skills assigned, you need to hit continue still, because you still actually haven't finished the whole process yet. But you do want to assign your skills there first, like I said. Next, you need to look at item vacant. So this is where you actually choose your crew's wishes. This is what is based off how happy your crew are. So if you think you're going to attack France, you would go with this one. I do normally attack France, so we'll go with that one. Ducatas after a sea battle. You need this many earned in merely 1 sea battle. So if you think you can do that, select it. And these do get harder as you get higher level. So add a new captain, more than likely. Couldn't get, look, they want me to hire a 1K seaman. That's a lot. We're going to try it again. Sink 33 ships. That's a ton of ships to sink. Definitely not impossible by any means, but you have to know you're out to hunt. Not do missions necessarily for that one. So now if you look, I've added these, and I'm at, if I complete them all, I'll get 97%. So you could add 1 more if you wanted, but if you don't, it could be a little harder. So I'm going to stick with those. Now, if I wouldn't have had an approval rate, it would have been much harder to complete these. I would have had to pick more. I would have had to pick them all of them, 2 more. So that's why it's important to kind of get over that 50% to help you out. And then you want to hit cast off to finalize it. So now it's done. Alright, so this tip is when you're about to engage in combat and you have your flag down, you're ready to fight. You see your enemies here. You see these are pirates. They have 5 ships. Their total power is 1889. I have 4 ships. My total power is 3688. So when you come up to get in battle, though, this is the important part. Right here, you need to make sure you pay attention to the screen, to the ships over here, because when you actually start the battle, you can't see the types or the ship strengths. So you want to look here and kind of get an idea of what you're up against, maybe what you want to target first, and what the ship looks like. It's not really a big deal until the ships, as you can see, these all have different strengths. All these sloops. So when you get in a battle, you're not going to really be able to tell which is which. So you do want to be kind of cautious of that and kind of take a look of what you're going up against. Because when you get into combat, as you see when you scroll over the vessels, you don't get a lot of details. You can see on the top right there, you can see different things about their speed and their crew numbers. And you get a picture of the cannon, but you don't know much more than that. So it's very important when you start a battle that you look and at least can identify the ship. And at first that's going to mean nothing to you unless you know ships. So it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of understand what you're going up against every time. And it also doesn't show you the power of the ships in this screen, which it does in the other screen. That's why it's super important to take a look at. Alright, the next tip I want to say is boarding is super important in this game. I'm not a huge fan of how it all works with the grape shot. You have to actually knock their armor down before it actually even does any kind of damage. And a lot of ships have a lot of high armor on them, and so it takes a long time to actually start lowering their crew down. And typically what you want to do, the best strategy, is you want to actually board their ship, have them in combat, melee combat, where the ship won't move or attack, and you use your other ships to kind of penetrate. But it can take some time, and so I'm not a huge fan. I wish Grape Shot did damage, even if they had armor. Obviously, maybe reduced armor, or reduced damage, that would make sense. But the fact that you have to have all their armor knocked down before you start hitting, and that's per side, too. It can get a little annoying, especially considering boarding is kind of what the game wants you to do. It's where you get the most rewards, you get the ship, which you can sell for a ton of gold, or, you know, repurpose and use as your own. So while I really do enjoy the combat, do go in knowing that you're going to be doing a lot of boarding if you want to be successful. Alright, next up we're going to be talking about the other tip. When you actually attack other pirates and capture them, sometimes the captain will give up information about pirate locations, and they'll show up in maps like this. There will be a pirate hideout there, you can go to them and capture them. So as you can see, here's the secret hideout. And when you actually go in and do the battle for these pirate hideouts and win, you capture them. And then you actually can go to the hideout upgrades and you can upgrade them. And so you kind of make them like little towns that you can use and you can run, which is pretty cool. It does take cost down here, as you can see. It takes actually supplies, not just gold. All right, the next tip I'm going to tell you about is your captains that you get. If you don't pay close attention, which I didn't at first, they all have things they love and they hate. And some of the hate can be for specific nations. And so, like, when I first started, I was going to help the English. The first captain I got actually hated the English and wanted to sink their ships and wanted to do bad things to the English. And so I was leveling him up, but he wasn't liking me. Like, his approval here was real low. And then I realized, well, I've been fighting for England here this whole time, and he hates that. So do pay attention to your captains. All right, everybody. Thank you for staying for the video and watching it. That wraps up my tips and tricks for Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale. It's available on the Epic Store, also the Xbox and the PlayStation Store, and the Nintendo Switch Store. So you have a variety of ways to play. I've been having a ton of fun with it, so make sure you check it out if it looks like it's interesting to you, because I think you're going to have fun. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have yourself a great day.